Boom. Here we go. Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Matson. Today we are going to be dividing decimals by decimals. You will be able to say, I can divide any two numbers even if they have decimals together, and I can give you the right answer. So let's go. Where is my thing? Awesome. All right, here are my four tips for how to divide decimals by decimal. First thing we're going to do is we are going to scoop any decimals out of the divisor. Okay, remember I told you that divisor is on the outside. I know which one is on the outside because the first number is always on the inside. So if you want to write this with me, inside your notes, it should be set up like this. First number always goes inside. That's what's being divided, broken up into smaller pieces, okay? And the second number is the divisor. It is on the outside. That's what we're going to start with. So the first thing we're going to look at is if there is a decimal on the outside, we're going to scoop it out, okay? Check, boom. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing to the dividend, to the number inside. So if we scoop twice on the outside, on the divisor, we're going to scoop twice on the inside. Even if there's like nothing really to scoop, we are still going to scoop it. And then put that 0 there. Okay, which is what we did. I kind of skipped ahead. Add zeros at the end if needed. Okay, and the final thing to remember is bring that decimal that's now at the end straight up. Okay, so let's clean this up just a little bit. So now it's just 175, boom, into 544.60. Yeah. All right, here is my first step. Just like we did when we just divided decimals, I look at this first number and I think if I have 5 cookies, is that enough for 175 people? Absolutely not. So we're going to start with the 0 and go to the next number. If I have 54 cookies, is that enough for 175 people? Again, absolutely not. You have 0 people that are happy. Okay, but what if I have 544 cookies? Is that enough for 175 people? Yes, we're going to have some happy people. So the first number will be above the 4 of 544. Okay, now we know that we're thinking that if there's 544 cookies and 175 people, those people are probably going to get more than 1 cookie, right? So will they get like 2 cookies? Let's see how much that would be. If everyone got 2 cookies, that would be 14, 15, 2, 3, only 350 cookies. I have more than that. I have 544. So maybe I'll go up a little bit and I'll try 175 times 3. Maybe just one more. So that'd be 15. That's 21, 22. 3, 4, 5, that's 525. Ooh, that looks really pretty. That's very close. Okay, so what that means is that everyone will get 3 cookies, and that will use up 525 of the 544 cookies that we had. Now, will we have some left over? Yeah, there'll be a few left over, and we will subtract to figure out how many that will be. That will be 14 minus 5 is 9. 3 minus 2 is 1. So we'll have 19 cookies left over. Okay, and now the last step is bring down the next number. Now we have 196 cookies. Is that enough for 175 friends? Yes, it is. But this time everyone will only get 1 cookie, right? Because that will be 175. And everyone will be happy with their 1 cookie. Plus there'll be some left over. There will be 21 left over. Bring down that 0. And now I have 210. Now, one thing I want you to do as you guys are doing this part over here is never, 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 never erase anything where you're trying stuff off to the side, because it may come up later that you'll have a number that you'll be needing to get to. And look, you've already done some work to know 3 will be too big, 2 will be too big. So we're just going to have to go with 1. If I have 210 cookies and 175 people, everyone will be able to have 1 cookie. Okay, so then we can subtract, and that leaves us with 35 cookies. Okay, now here is a new part. This rule number 3 again, which was add zeros at the end if needed, we need it again because we have a remainder. This is one of the times that it is needed. Okay, so the first time we need a 0 is if we're scooping and there's like nothing, no number there. We're going to add a 0 so then we can scoop it. The second time you might need a 0 is if you end up with a remainder down here. As long as you have a decimal, it's okay to add a 0 at the end because that didn't change anything. I'm just saying that I have 0 dimes, 0 tenths, which doesn't change the answer, doesn't change this number at all, but it does make it possible for me to keep going with my dividing. And I'm left with 350. Now, remember how I told you never, 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 never erase that? Do you see why? Because I've got the perfect number that I need to use. I need to use a 2. I already know that will be 350 because 350 cookies with 175 people will be equal. Everyone will get 2 cookies and it'll come out beautifully. So my final answer is just going to be 311.2. You'll notice I didn't put those zeros right there because like I said, they mean nothing. So the final answer is just 311 and 2 tenths. Wow, that was just one problem. These problems today are going to take a while, but look how beautiful, messy this is. All right, let me kind of explain why it works to scoop. I have 1800ths divided by 300ths. If I times by 10, then I can just scoop and I get 18. Sorry, times by 100. So if I times by 100 over here, that means I can scoop twice and I get 3. Well, 18 divided by 3 is also 6. So I could teach you how to do this, and I would get the correct answer. Or I can teach you to do this, and I can also get the correct answer. I choose the prettier looking one. So we're just going to, as long as we scoop the same amount inside and outside, we'll get the same answer as if we had left the decimals in place. Okay? All for making math easy. Raise your hand. Shout an amen to everyone in the classroom. You might get some funny looks, but I'll know what part of the video you're on. All right, so let's just do one more question. Tammy is training for a triathlon. She cycled 66.5 miles in 3.5 hours. If she cycled at a constant speed, how far did she cycle in 1 hour? All right, so let's kind of visualize what's going on. Tammy is cycling. Okay, I got a picture of Tammy here. She cycled for 3.5 hours and went 66.5 miles. That's like way past Ogden. That's a long ways, and she did it in 3.5 hours. So if she cycled at a constant speed, how far did she cycle in 1 hour? So if I'm visualizing this correctly, she went 66.5 miles in 3 hours. And now it's running, what is that for just 1 hour? So do you see how we need to take 66.5 and divide it into the 3.5 individual hours? And then that will just give us the 1 hour. So let's put 66.5 in as the dividend, because that's what's being divided up. All of those hours are going to be divided into the 3.5 hours. And that will just give us how far she went in 1 hour. My guess, if I were just going to estimate this really quick, 3 hours, 60 miles in 3 hours, she went about 20 miles in that 1 hour per hour. Okay, let's see what the real answer is, though. All right, so let's scoop that decimal out. And what we do on the divisor, we have to do on the dividend, then bring that decimal straight up. Okay, so now I'm left with 35 and 665. All right, let's start with the 6. Is 6 enough for 35 people? No. Is 66 enough for 35 people? Yeah, and it might go in twice. I don't think so, but let's check. Oh, yep, too much. It's 70. So we're going to have to go with 1. And 1 times 35 is 35. gives me 1, and 6 minus 3 is 3. Bring that down, I have 315. Is 315 enough for 35? You betcha. And it's going to be way more than 2, because 2 is only 70. So let's try. Hi! Are you going to interrupt my video? Oh my goodness. You gotta... Quick, say hi to everyone. Say hi, everyone. Okay, what happened? Oh, cool, you got some chalk. All right, I got to finish my video with my students, and I'll come out and play. Maybe. Sorry for the interruption. I don't think you can stay here and play. You're going to be too distracting. All right, so back to what we were thinking. We have 315. Bye, guys. I don't think you hear her screaming, but she's screaming. 315 into 35. How many times will that work? More than 2 times. So let's try like a lot bigger number. Let's try like 18 or 18. 8. That's 40, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 280. That's close. Do you think we can get even closer? With 35 times 9, that'll give me 45, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Boom. Pretty. Look at that. I love it. Let's do 9, shall we? 19 times 35 is 315 with no remainder. So I don't have a need to add a 0 and bring it down because there is no remainder. Beautiful. I can just stop with this right here, which is, we'll just say 19. Let's see the question. Let's go back to the question. How far did she cycle in 1 hour? So 19, what are we talking about for distance? Miles. 19 miles. Circle that so you can see it compared to everything else. And is that close to our estimate of 20 miles? Yes. So we can feel pretty certain that we did it correctly. Okay? All right, my friends, that is how you divide 2 decimals together. Scoop simultaneously, like synchronized swimming, and then bring the decimal straight up if you need to. Add some more zeros, drop them down. It's kind of like a divide decimal dance. See you guys later. Happy practicing.